This is solving equations with variables on each side. So you want to simplify as much as you can on either side of the equal sign first. Remember, you can move things from one side of the equal sign to the other by changing the sign. And you can add and subtract the same thing. And here's using addition of the opposite. So make sure you do that. So I'll show you a couple different ways to solve these. Then they're the exact same, and both of them work. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this, but when I do, I'm going to use addition of the opposite. So I have minus 6. Remember, I don't want to leave it as minus 6. I want to make 2 marks with my pencil, plus a negative. So just to show you a different way over here, okay, so check to see on the equal sign for something you can do to reduce those, and I can't because there's no like terms. I cannot add 2 in the 5k, and I can't add this. So on either side of the equal sign, I'm good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with my whole numbers. So I'm going to take this 2, and since it's positive 2, I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. It doesn't matter if you decide to add 6 on both sides, it'll still give you the same answer. So I have 5k is equal to 3k plus negative 8. So negative 6 minus 2. Also, when you do this, make sure you work in a straight line. Keep your equal sign lined up, so that way you know what you're doing. Okay, so now I have all my whole numbers on the right side. I want to get all my variables to the left. So that means I need to take care of this 3k. Since it's positive, I'm going to subtract 3k from both sides. So notice how I'm doing the same thing on both sides. So I'm left with 2k is equal to negative 8. And the last thing you need to do is divide both sides by 2. K is equal to negative 4. So another way to do this is you can just switch the sides of everything. Remember, if you change the sides, you need to change the sign. Okay, so if I want to move the 3k over to this side of the equal sign, I want to move the 2 over to this side of the equal sign. All I have to do is make sure I change the sign. So 5k is already over here. And I'm taking this 3k and I'm moving it. It was a positive, so over here it becomes a negative. I already have a minus 6, so if I'm moving the positive 2, it was a positive, so over here it becomes a negative. So then you can simplify and solve. So that's 2k equals negative 8, and divide by 2. And either way is just as good, it's the same. Okay, number 2, something like this. First thing you need to do, I'm going to rewrite this. Remember, I'm going to make 2 marks with my pencil. It's minus 10. I'm going to do plus a negative to avoid confusion. Then I have to use distributive property. Before I do that, I'm going to rewrite this to make sure I know. Plus negative 2x. So I'm using addition of the opposite. Distributive property means I distribute what's outside the parentheses to both of what's inside. So 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times negative 2x is negative 6x. Okay, so then to solve, I'm going to add 10 on both sides. Making sure to keep everything lined up. 8x equal to 28 plus negative 6x. Now I want to add 6x. So 14x is equal to 28. Then divide by 14. X is equal to 2. Alright, number 3. First thing you want to do, simplify on both sides first. I'm going to rewrite this. 5x plus 5 is equal to 3 plus a negative 4. So I do addition of the opposite. Plus a negative 10x. So using addition of the opposite will help. I use it in two places here. Now I need to do distributive property. Make sure you don't do distributive property and take it over here. This negative 10x is not in the parentheses. So I did 3 times 5x, then 3 times negative 4. Now I'm going to simplify on this side. I have some like terms. Remember, to combine like terms, they have the same variable to the same power. You just add coefficients. So 5x plus 5 is equal to, over here I have 5x plus negative 12. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, and just make sure, try to keep yourself lined up the best you can. Subtract 5 on both sides. So I have 5x equals 5x plus negative 17. Then I'm going to subtract 5x on both sides. So I get 0 is equal to negative 17. Hopefully you remember from one of the previous lessons, when you end up like something like this, and this is not true, 0 does not equal negative 17, the answer is no solution.